We are still waiting on the pile of garden loam to arrive, so in the meantime I've been working on making sure that we have our solar powered irrigation system ready to go for down here in the greenhouse, as well as all of the raised beds that we've been working on down here. So let's have a quick peek at that. First, let's talk about the water source for the main garden and hoop house area. Lake Inferior. With the main garden area being down here, and the house being way up there, it just does not make sense to be running hoses from the house all the way down here and putting that strain on our well, on our pump, all that stuff. Which is why one of the first things we did when we arrived here at the Wilderstead a couple years ago was put in a pond. This was done specifically for irrigation water. It's actually become quite the diverse little ecosystem. All kinds of wildlife living in here. The pump we're running is a 1/4 horsepower and it draws around 200 watts, which is why we are running such a large battery and the two 100-watt solar panels. This is the little unit that I put together just to house the batteries, the inverter, the charge controller, all that good stuff, and the solar panels on top, two 100-watt solar panels. So let's have a quick look inside here. So inside we have the same type of battery that we're running in the solar powered greenhouse up by the house. This old charge controller, this actually came out of an old Harbor Freight solar kit that we picked up when we lived in Connecticut. And then the 1000 watt power inverter. So I'm going to flip this on. The pump is over there. The line runs out the back of this box. Turn this on. So that's going. And we have power. It's got quite the spray to it. I need to be able to run from the apples to the compost to all of these beds, as well as drip lines in the hoop house, which is why we are running that 1/4 horsepower pump. So that, in a nutshell, is the irrigation system for down here in the main garden area. Let's go up and have a peek at what's going on in the glass house, the glass greenhouse, with our solar powered irrigation system up there. The seedling greenhouse has been working awesome for us so far, and we have another solar powered irrigation system up in here. We'll take a quick peek at that. I am just going to shut down the inverter here. So that, I've already shown this, but that is running the fan up there and the radio when we want it. A little peek what we got growing on. Peppers, lots of peppers. These are all hot peppers. Lavender, celery, tomatoes, celery, tomatoes, peppers, tomatoes, 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 basil, asparagus, more tomatoes, some very thirsty tomatoes. So we should probably get these things watered. As you can see, we're running out of room in here and we just have plants everywhere. We need more shelving. So the way I currently have this set up is this is a 4 liter per minute pump. So roughly a gallon per minute pump. It's 12 volt and it just hooks directly up to the battery. This is the reservoir I'm using for water currently. Once we have the roof finished, we will have a rain barrel set up outside and we will pipe that water into here if we need to. We may just run the pump straight out of the rain barrel. I still have to get a switch set up here to make this a little easier to turn off and on, but for now, all we do is attach the battery to the pump. Now, this is kind of loud. It's not really a problem because it doesn't run for very long periods of time, but you will see the amount of noise it makes. So that's the pump running. Just pulling water out of the barrel. Just unplug this for a second. So I've just got a rock attached to one end of the tubing, which runs up to the pump, and then it pumps up through the rest of the tubing. And as far as watering goes, pretty simple. These guys are really thirsty. And it really takes only about 5 or 10 minutes to water everything in here. Nice little system, that's for sure. Working out well for us. Now in the greenhouse here, we've also got some salad planters growing up top here. We have had plants out here for roughly 60 days. Somewhere between 40 and 60 days. I'd really have to look at the calendar to figure that one out. Things are doing awesome in here. The wood stove, big bonus for us, that's for sure. We did end up, for a short period of time, running an electric heater, which we just had up on this post here. Admittedly, we got a little bit lazy with the fire, and we didn't have enough wood cut to the short, proper lengths that we need for this stove. Much different size than the stove that we have inside the cabin. But, all in all, it's been working really, really nicely for us, and I'm looking forward to getting the in-floor heat installed, which will be provided by a big pile of compost poop out behind the greenhouse.